Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. When I look at here, at least I see 8 to 10 ladies here. Before I get into my presentation and try to interact with you, when I moved to Raineycoot as unit head in 2019 Jan, I had 3 women employees. Today I have 33 and 18 of them in manufacturing. And in Aditya Birla Group, in our business specifically, we have a clear agenda to have 25% of women employment in manufacturing by 2025. I just wanted to share this. I got inspired by looking at least I can see some faces here. Thank you very much. Most of you already know about Aditya Birla Group because this is the 7th year, as Sridhara was telling. We have been interacting. This is my second visit to Indore for this specific purpose. Thank you, IPT, ABG, and all jury members, and most importantly, all the participants who have come here with a lot of preparation with their presentations. And without you, this program will never be seen the light. I hope the presentation is visible. When we speak about reinventing manufacturing, why do we need to reinvent it? Good reasons must, of course, give place to better. What is good today may not stand good tomorrow. It is said that if you have to stay where you are, you have to continuously run because life is moving very fast with higher velocity, and all of us know about the VUCA world. Today, if anyone doesn't try to become better, stops being good as well. So the betterment, bettering the best, are the two things that we cannot afford to ignore in today's current scenario. During introduction, Ms. Sujata was telling about relevance of religion. Not exactly religion, but spirituality. Religion is practices, spirituality is the sole part of it. I just wanted to share 2 quotes from a very famous management book, which is, I will tell you later what is that book. We talk about a lot of science, scientific development, technological developments. So this was told to us thousands of years ago. Shastram Pramana, take science as a standard. Karya Akarya Vyavasthita. Karya means do's and don'ts. Make a system. Do the ones which are meant to be done. Don't do which are not to be done. Jnatva Shastra Vihana. Understand the methodology and follow it. And as leaders follow, people definitely like to follow them. So we need to demonstrate that exemplary leadership qualities by following science. Having said that, theory and practically both are right. Practice is not really practical. A lot of nuances are there. Even science and engineering is not just science, it is also an art. Most of us know that. When we talk about manufacturing reinvention and to be currently relevant today, we can't do away with the older ones, older practices. We can't just fix by replacing our current things. We need to evolve. People evolve, not machines. Even if you put any amount of technological advancements, adoption of latest technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything needs to be at least finally to be utilized by people. People evolve, not machines. I just wanted to give a very brief about what I'm going to talk about is ABG chemical business, and we have from 2012 following a sustainability model. Some of you may be already aware of it, and just look at it. How the integrated manufacturing efficiencies are linked to the leadership, which is very important. How can we integrate the processes through systematic models? All of us know sustainability is not anymore a buzzword, but it's a need of the hour. We will just see what were the waves of this sustainability. By following this sustainability model of our ABG and the waves of sustainability, what the chemical business has got benefited in the last 10 years, because I represent from that business. I have friends from metals as well as cement here. And finally, the mindset. I just don't want to take more time here. We are first in viscostaple, we are first in aluminium, fourth largest in insulators, fertilizers, number one in carbon black. And there was a great saying by Jack Welch, ABG has some similarities with GA because of its very high level of diversification from metals to chemicals to cements to finance to which is very highly diversified. We say if number one and number two sneeze in the competition, fourth and fifth will get pneumonia. So we would like to be number one and number two wherever we are in this business. That's where we are in as ABG. CFIs, chemicals, fertilizers, fashion and insulators. This is part of Aditya Birla Group, which is much smaller compared to metals, but it has its own presence in several countries. We manufacture and sell our products to 80 countries, though we are present only in 3 countries, and we have 10,000 employees. These are our product lists. We make caustic soda, chlorine, and chlorinated granulated products, and which are used in 50 to 60% of chemical manufacturing directly or indirectly, and our products are used in almost 40% of medicines produced globally. That is the outreach of the products. This is the model I was talking about. We all in ABG follow this model, and this is mandated for us. It has given us tremendous scope for improvement on a continuous basis. We should be responsible. We should be responsible when we make our businesses, especially chemicals. All these process chemicals have to understand what are the challenges, how can we reduce the impact of the externalities, society, community, in and around. We all take care of stakeholders, but we also need to be careful about fringe stakeholders. We don't really know who are our stakeholders. Sometimes we need to understand. Understanding those fringe stakeholders is very essential to anticipate the business disruptions. I don't want to again say this. I used to see the example of Monsanto and seedless plantation, which has taken their business away in India. So we have to be really careful about the fringe stakeholders and future proof. When we take operational decisions in a year or two, when you talk about the tactical decisions for 3 to 5 years, unless we plan next to 10 years where we are going to be, at least that is not clear to us, we will not be able to future proof. The example is from my own industry, where I have come from. Rural industry, caustic soda was being produced by mercury technology, and that is phased out because of the hazardous nature of the mercury. And 10 years before the phasing out by the government of India, we have completely converted our processes into membrane technology. So the key here is when we say reinventing manufacturing, we have to be updating ourselves before we become obsolete. It is said that it is not how many things we invent that matters most. It is how many things we make obsolete that makes the difference. Today, wherever we are, after 30 years, 40 years, now of course we are talking about 2070 instead of 2050, where we will be a sustainable world. A long way to go, a tough way to go, but there is no option. So in our case, we start today with, where are we today? Where are we on the comparison with international level? What are the best practices globally? And where we will be by 2050, 2070? If we don't see this today, probably we will not be there tomorrow. Begin the journey today for tomorrow and beyond is the philosophy, a conceptual, fundamental understanding for Aditya Birla Group. That's why I just wanted to share this slide. No, as initially Sridhara was telling about manufacturing is not just chemical conversion of products anymore. We have to continuously excel. Excel not in just our processes, excel in our dealing with the people, dealing with the environment and community. We were just talking while having a cup of tea. Supply chain breakdown, supply chain disruptions, coal not available, coal price which was some X today it is 3x, 4x, 5x, we don't know. And Russia-Ukraine war has made things worse. Who knows what will happen in Taiwan, China and US. So this volatile, uncertain, complex world, how can we really reduce the complexities and increase our efficiencies despite all these things? The question. A lot of people are making a lot of advancements in different fields, and how can we, generally we do a lot of synergy within our businesses, within our, like if I'm from chemical sector, I do a lot of synergies in chemical sector, but the real synergy comes from different businesses, different things, like co-creation. If you have heard, C.K. Bhalla and Gary Hamel, at length they have discussed about the co-creation. A technology firm and a Nike coming together, I've been putting chips in the shoes while walking. Of course, nowadays we have gone much ahead of that. 15, 20 years back, we were thinking of co-creation. How can we bring the technologies outside our domain or business processes, implement them and obsolete our existing processes, advance them, reduce waste, improve efficiencies, and increase productivity? All these things are possible only through people, processes, and at the center of the people is the leader. We have to be not only responsible to whatever we do, we also have to be accountable. We're talking about accountability, not just responsibility. We say that social responsibility, we do a lot of things, but are we accountable for what we are doing? What is the impact on our actions and practices on our own premises, in and around 5 kilometers radius, 10 kilometers radius, and who knows what is the distance over air environment, air pollution travels. So we have to be aware of that, operational level, tactical level, and strategic level. We may adapt or bring in highest, latest, sharpest, and deepest technologies into our processes. But are we making our people fall in line? Are we looking after their competency requirements to deal with whatever we bring in? Are they enhancing their capacity of doing what they are supposed to do? Are they expanding their ability and capability, combined competency and capability? And finally, the compatibility of what we are doing is the key. That is all about the leadership purpose. And leadership always faces the challenge of problems, solving problems, while ensuring continual improvement across. Manufacturing efficiency, reinventing manufacture to the next level, adoption of new technologies, new age intelligences, all require the combination of compatibility, commitment, and capability. I just would like to spend 2-3 minutes on this particular slide. Even today, what is the greatest motivator is economy. What is profit? What is bottom line? Enormous global flows of material, energy, things are happening. While we have claimed and we have in fact implemented several advancements, either through processes or through technology or latest technologies, still the motivator is economics. By being so, we can't avoid that, we can't escape it. Are we taking the environment, society, economy into picture? Are the efficiency improvements, we're talking about manufacturing efficiencies, are our efficiency improvement programs integrated into the environment, society? If that is not happening, if the sustainability aspects are not incorporated, integrated on a consistent, continuous manner, somewhere the balance gets disrupted. That is why we need to be taking care of not only economic viability but also societal and environmental viability, eco-efficiency and equitable distribution, which is what is happening. Most of us know that world's chips, 70% of world chips are made by Taiwan. If Taiwan gets affected today, and chips are used everywhere now. Without chips, we can't even imagine the life today. And Taiwan is at, we don't know, great risk of China and the US are trying to. It's not for Taiwan they're fighting, it's for the chips that Taiwan is making, they're fighting. So that is the volatility and uncertainty that's there. And if you don't take care of that, societal aspects and the environmental aspects are now compulsorily to be taken into consideration, otherwise we will be left out. We're all from corporates, industries, we have a lot of efficiency programs, we have effectiveness programs, we have sufficiency programs. Are we moving up in the ladder in sustainability? Sometimes efficiency programs become damage management programs, Get more with less, get more with less, get more with less. A day will come if you start doing that to an extent, probably you break it. You lose the balance. So we have to be effective as well. Circularity, closing the loop. And even that will not be sufficient going forward. We will have to change our patterns of consumption. Nowadays we see lights. Once you enter inside the room, there is a light. Sensors are there, because otherwise unnecessarily the energy is wasted. So we have to move to that level of technological adaptations to change our consumption patterns, change our consumptions, while keeping focus on efficiencies and effectiveness with sufficiency aspects. If you go to some hotels, you will see, if you don't need to change the towel, keep it for 2 days. So you are saving water consumption, you are saving energy. So these things are consumption patterns that we need to do. All these things are possible when we integrate these things. So the challenge for manufacturing processes, enhancement of efficiencies and effectiveness is, what are our strong and weak signals? Again, I'll give an example from my own industry. We were making caustic soda from mercury technology and we moved to membrane technology. And about 6-7 units in India have not changed their technology and they have died. Unless you scan the environment before it becomes obsolete, if you don't update, and 3 of those units are acquired by ABG, now we are running in membrane technology. That's a key point I was mentioning. It's not about how much invention you make. While it is important, it's critical to know how many things you have made obsolete and change your practices, processes, and the systems, and finally organizations. Scan and identify initially. Monitor those and recognize the technology trends. Otherwise, we will be phased out. Good reasons of force give place to better. They will simply go away. Continuously expanding the knowledge through the people, enhancing the processes and effective. Again, a lot of intelligence systems are coming, but the core process remains the same. And there are certain facts, fundamental facts of life. Sun rises in the east, sun was rising in the east, sun will be rising in the west. There is no change and there will not be any change. So those fundamentals will not change. Why I am saying this point, while fixing our problem through technological adaptations, we cannot afford to ignore the fundamental facts. So fundamentals have to be clearly seen. While doing so, how can you determine the current situation? and do the focused search for betterments and evaluate those, model it, pilot it, implement it, and course correct it. These are the stages that manufacturing processes have to improve. If you see 50 years back and today, the way we do our manufacturing, and once the industry 4 comes, I was seeing one example of a chemical being carried to a customer place. Generally, we load our chemicals, bulk chemicals. We say that our product quality is good. We don't know the quality of the tanker or vehicle that we make. It will take 2 days to reach there. It will go to their storage tank. By the time they consume, they say there's a quality problem. I say that I have been a good quality. The customer says that this will be bad quality. So the entire chain, how can we do that? Whatever I make while storing, while transportation, while at the receiving end, and while at the consumption point, and I'm monitoring the quality, quantity, and characteristics of my chemicals or whatever. So that's where tracking that from cradle to death, from room to tomb, is what is Industry 4 talking about. I must know real-time monitoring and delivery of what I intended to deliver and receipt of what was intended to be received at the customer end. Again, I just took a model. If you are interested, you can read an excellent book I just read recently. Resource Efficiencies in Manufacturing Value Chains. This is an excellent research book for all manufacturing professionals. I just pick up one model from there. Lean and green manufacturing you are talking. Lean and green manufacturing you are talking. Is green manufacturing really green? Is the lean manufacturing is really lean? Or the processes are lean and the structures that we make are lean? There is an excellent real life case of Unilever. They were making a product. Generally, Unilever doesn't release any product into the market without localized research. The product was butter beaten. They did research, they did sampling, they did survey in one particular country of Europe, and they launched in another country. Where they have done the research, it was very successful. Where they have not done that basic research, they have lost $5 billion. It's a very interesting Harvard Business School case study you can read. Unilever's butter beater. Before you come to a solution, improvement measures are really relevant, applicable. That's a key point. Just don't for the sake of upgrading, don't upgrade. Don't for the sake of adoption, don't adapt the technology. The relevance, practical. Is it authentic to my business or my process? Is it relevant to my process? Is it practical to my process? You may have the best system in the world. If it's not relevant and if you cannot use that, it's only knowledge that's available. Yes, you appreciate that product, but don't implement that unless you check for this authenticity, relevance, and practicality of whatever you do. Challenges for operational tacticals. You can get this presentation through Rahul. Building upon the value streams. That's very important. If I understand the whole value chain, and I need to understand that each level is valued, validated, and verified before I really change the process. Do I need to change the whole process? Do I need to really change one process and make it more efficient so that I can incrementally change the processes? Or do you need to do really a disruptive upgradation of your technology? You need to understand that. Again, the whole body is having about 150 systems. In industries, we say that safety, environment, quality, health, social accountability, energy management, this management, how so many things can work together. So we say that we are overloaded by corporates for these things. Just compare that to human body. If one system is good, can we say that other systems are effective? No. So it's a proper integration of that. If I do health in isolation, safety in isolation, environment isolation, and my operations and maintenance are going different way. It doesn't work that way. The organizations which have done this integration of HSE into operation maintenance have got excellent results. While you may have extremely efficient processes in isolation, they don't give you the real benefit. Pollution prevents, in fact, lowers the costs. In fact, lowers the costs. Today, technological viability may or may not be there. But if you improve your processes, where you don't have the technology available right now, you need to improve the processes. You must understand where I need to improve the process, where I need to upgrade the technology. Again, all of us have standard operating procedures, practices. But do we understand transient modes of operation? We were doing this check of high hazard processes in our businesses, and we found 20 high hazard processes, and we have made about 150 SOPs. But there was no SOP, there was a plant shutdown for 4 days, and that got extended to 6 days. Whether all other upstream downstream systems are checked? No, there was no SOP. So we now started introducing the concept which I have not mentioned in the slide. This is known as operational readiness review. I am taking a shutdown of a particular segment of a plant. Do it. I haven't seen the upstream and downstream at all. So I need to do that. Whether all my systems and segments ready for that particular takeoff of a long shutdown or a change. So these are safety practices. If they are not implemented or integrated into the operations, the environmental aspects not integrated, processes, efficiencies and effectiveness will not improve. While we may have all the systems in place in organizations, connecting those dots is the key. And those who do, they get the benefit. Those who don't do, system is good, but it doesn't work for me. Why it doesn't work? Because you don't integrate it. As simple as that. I was talking about the sustainability waves. All of you know about the Bhopal gas. Bhopal is quite near to you. In 1984, when the Bhopal incident happened, there was no law in India to file a petition against Mr. Adams. And in 1986, we got this Environmental Protection Act. Opposition. What will happen to me? I am making from opposition and ignorance. We were all doing this 50, 60, 70 years back. There were even no acts, there was no understanding. But now in the second way, we understand that we need to conserve the value because compliance. You are seeing now, those who are in chemical field or other field, they know that there are online measurements. Online measuring values are connected to central pollution control boards, state pollution control boards. Real-time monitoring is happening. What is that? Compliance. But the organizations who understand that compliance gives efficiencies, those who understand compliance gives efficiencies, they move to the next level, a third way, wherein they get the competitive advantage of just compliances, enhancing the compliances. And that will give you the efficiency. And when you are on the path, you will move to be a proactive organization and then a sustainable organization. It is just a replication of that in a different language, and this is a model, a very famous sustainability model by Tanfield. I am making my products, unintentionally make byproducts, I will throw the back end. Nobody sees. When somebody sees that, I will say, I will. From there to compliance, to efficiency, to proactivity, to sustaining organization. I just wanted to give an example of my own business where we move from compliance to efficiency to the sustainable organization. Where are we today? Yes, we are in the paths. And the model which I have given you in the beginning is the driving force for us. Where are we today? Where are we in comparison to the international norms? Where are we today when we compare the best globally? What we need to do in 2050, 2070, if we don't start thinking about today, if we don't proof your future or future proofing, day is not far off, we will be extinct. Just a snapshot, what are the benefits? This is just the chemical business of ABG, which is only $2 billion business out of $60 billion of ABG. If I count for that, the contribution to the sustainability through that model of driving force, my friend sitting here will add to that. This is what we have done in the last 5-6 years. 1,000 tons of. You have 2,100 TDS norms water discharge. If I stop that, what will happen? 1,000 tons per annum of salt which is going to the river bodies is stopped. 511 million units per year power saved by adapting the best available technologies. When we started our technology in 1997, we were the first generation electrolyzers, which are actually key equipments that chloralkali process. Today we are in the 6th generation. That alone gives us 511 million units per year. Of course, now all my 8 sites are zero liquid discharges, and we are moving to the technological upgradation. We used to use several chemicals for treating our salt. We have moved to nanofiltration system where we don't use a key raw material which reduces our solid waste from 50 to 15 kgs, and impact is 50,000 tons per year. Today you start and you will definitely see the results 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. If you don't start today, you should have started already. If you don't start today, it will be very difficult to see the tomorrow. Things have changed. People are looking at you. People observe. Society observes. When regulators used to come 35 years back, this is my own experience in my previous organization. We don't even take them to the plant. Plant thoda sa ठीक करो ना, housekeeping तो करो. That was low trust and low transparency. Today it doesn't work. The real-time monitoring. High trust is required. High transparency is required. तो मैं तो यूनिट हेड हूँ, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, सुनो तो सही. Please believe me. That doesn't work anymore. Who are you doesn't matter today. What are you doing? What is seen there? What is visible? Matters a lot. We need to move from trust me doesn't work. Tell me doesn't work. Show me is also not working. Involve me. I want to know. I want to understand what you are doing. Society, stakeholders, fringe stakeholders, all have to be taken into consideration. Communicate, propagate, educate. And that is the only way to be relevant tomorrow as manufacturing units and more so for chemical units. Chemical units are actually in the last 50 to 60 years significantly enhanced the standards of living. But they are also responsible for the current state where we are in, climate change, global warming, where there were no rains, there were heavy rains, where there were good rain, there were no rains. Tectonic shifts of climatical, geopolitical changes are happening. We are all collectively responsible. Still, we need to continue to make the products, continue to make the chemicals, because we can't go back to the old stone ages now. We need to do that. But we need to do differently. We need to adapt new technologies, new processes, while keeping the fundamentals of life intact. And that makes this manufacturing today, reinventing is revitalizing, refurbishing, and giving new life. Thank you very much. If you have any questions for 5 minutes.
Let's talk about lean and green is prerequisite of Industry 4.0. But few researchers are completely denying this process. they are saying Industry 4.0 is a new innovative field. It can be applied solely alone. So, what's your view? It's a prerequisite. Lean and green is really required to implement Industry 4.0 in any industry. For example, automobile or any manufacturing plant.
That's what I was telling in my presentation. You cannot generalize it for across. Whatever applies to you, what is relevant and practical to your business. If I take iPhone latest one, with so many features, how much I can use? Hardly 10%. Do I really need that? If it's not relevant to me, if it's not practically useful for me, don't adapt that. Because as I was saying, what is happening in your sector, what is happening in your business, and what is happening in your next door, other business. So that is relevant to you. You must adapt. Otherwise, don't adapt for the sake of adaptation. Don't change for the sake of change. First, do the research. Identify the weak and strong signals in your own business. Eliminate or upgrade those weak signals before you completely take over. Like I was telling about, whenever there is a new technology that happens, we are all given some time because nature has a lot of carrying capacity. Similarly, the processes have, even the industries have. I was just telling about the things that we make obsolete than things that we invent. Somebody has next door invented me, does not necessarily meet my requirement. So suitability and every research has its own premise and boundaries. You must be very careful about the limitations of that particular research. One advice is if you see the research, if you see anything, what was the background, context and the limitations and the assumptions that were taken during the research. Please be careful about that. That's very important. Hope that answers your question. Okay.
Like we need to have a real-time tracking for storage, transportation, characteristic, quality, quantity. Can you please tell us any technology which Aditya Birla has implemented for this quality monitoring?
It again applies to the chemicals which are transported, high value chemicals. In our advanced metal business, we do this in our epoxy business, where the value is very high, where the volume is very less, and where the customer wants to ensure that what is intended to be provided is verified across the logistic line. You have to again see the applicability of that. If you are sending large quantities of bulk chemicals, again roadworthiness, tanker availability, economic viability are also to be taken into consideration. I can't be sustainable without economics. I can't be sustainable without taking into consideration society. Also, the environment. So you have to be seeing that wherever you need to go incrementally, you need to go there. Wherever there is no way, you have to move away. See, I remember we used to have VCRs and VCDs when I got married in 1990s. Today, where are VCRs and VCDs? Type machines. When we were studying during schooling, घर में बोलते थे यार टाइपिंग तो सीखो कम से कम टाइपिस्ट बन जाओगे. See, things change very fast, but still typing is being done. And I'll give one example of Mike, of BlackBerry. You know how many people heard about how the BlackBerry inventor was an electrical engineer. He was the child prodigy. We all know about the Nokia story. What happened to BlackBerry? Is it there today? It had 70% of market share in the US 10-15 years back. You know why he was such a great inventor, advancer? He did not want to do away with this keypad. iPhone started giving padless. He did not accept that. Where is it today? From 80-70% market share to, I don't think anybody sees BlackBerry phones now, which was so prevalent those days. If you don't change yourself, you like to see the pace and velocity that which you need to change. If you don't do it, good reasons must of force give place to better. Thank you very much.